What's going on, people? I want to speak briefly about the Marc Lamont Hill wake-up call. Now, I don't usually rejoice over someone's downfall. It's not always good to rejoice over other people's downfall. But this was due to come because me and other people have warned black people, or so-called black people, of CNN. You know, they watch CNN. They're diehard CNN viewers, and everything that CNN says to them, they gobble it up, and they don't realize that CNN is not for their best interest. They have their own agenda, and as long as you're pushing their agenda, they're in support of you, right? So I just want to speak briefly about Marc Lamont Hill. Now, the first question I have is, how can he be fired for anti-Semitic comments when he himself is Semitic? Now, I'm aware that there's a lot of people that's not really aware of what Semitic really means. There's a few people that know. But there's a lot of people that don't know, and I hear so many people, mainly the so-called black Americans, that's throwing anti-Semitic around in reference to those that say they are Jews and are not, but do lie, as the book of Revelation say, but are of the synagogue of Satan. So your Bible, the same Bible that many of y'all reject, tells you who the real Jews or the so-called Jews are. But you reject it. So I'm going to read the definition of Semitic. It says, relating to or denoting a family of language that includes Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, and certain ancient languages such as Phoenician and Akkadian, constituting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family. And then number 2, it says, relating to the peoples who speak the Semitic languages, especially Hebrew and Arabic. That's the definition of Semitic. So how can Marc Lamont Hill be anti-Semitic? How can any so-called black American or Hebrew say that they are anti-Semitic or being anti-Semitic when they themselves are Semitic? And like I said, there's a lot of people that don't know and didn't know, but now you know. And you can research that for yourself. Number 2, as I mentioned, CNN do not care about black people. They're only concerned about their own interest and their own agenda. Take Don Lemon for an example. Think of all the racist comments that he made regarding white people, about white men, and all of the crazy things that he has said over the air, but yet Don Lemon, being a homosexual, is still employed with CNN. Now, what Marc Lamont said wasn't really bad at all. He really didn't say anything that deserved him being fired from CNN. But he forgot that he was a black man. See, you have so many black Americans that got used to bashing Donald Trump, saying anything that they want to say because, of course, the elite's agenda is to destroy Donald Trump. So anything or anybody, regardless of who you are, that's anti-Trump, they will support you as long as you're promoting their agenda. And he forgot that he was black, and he felt free. He felt like a lot of so-called black Americans feel, where they feel they can say anything that they want because, of course, the white man is able to say any and everything that they want and nothing happens to them. So he felt free. So when he went off course, when he went off CNN's agenda, they fired him. He started talking about free Palestine. And then he made a quote from the river to the sea. Now, I interpret from the river to the sea like black people say, by any means necessary. So when he said from the river to the sea, that's like saying by any means necessary, and they read into that. Because the Jews, or the so-called Jews, or those that say that they are Jews and are not, but do lie, but are of the synagogue of Satan. And I'm quoting the book of Revelation. They're the ones that's paying his paycheck. They're the ones that's in charge of the media. So when he spoke in favor of Palestine, saying free Palestine, and then he started saying from the river to the sea, in other words, by any means necessary, they took that as a threat. And they fired him with the quickness. That just goes to show what CNN really think about black people, as long as the so-called black people or Hebrews are fighting their agenda, promoting their agenda. As long as you're shaking your fist in the air saying Black Lives Matter, or you're blaming the white man, or you're crying racism and discrimination, as long as you're supporting illegal immigration, you will have the support of the beast. But when you go off track, when you feel too free, and you start going outside of their own agenda, then they get rid of you. So Marc Lamont Hill forgot who he was. He, like a lot of black Americans or Hebrews, felt too free. And he felt that I'm able, and you know what, and I kind of laughed because when I listened to the speech, he was trying to sound like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, and he tried to, and he was saying it with such authority, and he was watching every word that he said and how he spoke, and he said it like he really meant it, like he was a real revolutionary. And before you realize it, when he stood up and made that speech before the UN, they kicked him to the curb with the quickness. So he got what he deserved. He got what he deserved because he was fighting on the wrong side. And they gave him a job. And he even spoke down, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he call another black man a coon? But yet he got fired because he felt he was too free. So feedback, tell me what you think. I'm just thinking out loud. And I have a channel that's titled I'm Just Thinking Out Loud. Go to that channel and subscribe. Until next time, I'm fearless.